us up here has been in leadership positions. The highest position that I was in is I'm a past department vice commander. So I know what it's like out there. And I am from the mighty Hudson County. And we got a house here. Hudson. Yes. All right. Now I want to help you with something that Tony said about leadership and mentorship was very important. Okay? And we do this in Hudson County. And I hope that you do it in your county, because this will ensure that chain of command, communication, leadership, and mentorship is moving forward. If you are a DEC and a county commander visiting your posts throughout your tenure, go in, let them know who you are. They can see the leadership, they can ask you questions, you can respond to them. And like Tony said, and I'm sure everybody here has experienced it, when you have a veteran or a Legion member who asks you for help, or they ask you a very important question, and you follow up, how valuable is that? That is priceless, because then they know, remember what I said in the beginning? You care. You don't follow up with them, they think you don't care. Unacceptable. Following up, positive, not following up, negative. This is what you need to do in a leadership position. But here's what we hear a lot. Oh, my county is so big. There's no way I could do that. That's why you have vice commanders. Send them out. On the department level, our department commander has 5 vice commanders. He can't be everywhere every day, but they can be in their respective districts representing the commander. You're a county vice commander, you're representing the county commander. And then, remember the chain of command, right? Coming down, going up. Now, post officers, go to county meetings. Your whole officer board. Anybody who wants to go that's up and coming, interested in the Legion, bring them to the county level. And then once they feel comfortable there, start coming to the department meetings. You see how that works? We're encouraging you to do this. This is how we're all going to come together and continue to take everything that we're learning today, moving forward, sharing together, because we're all leaders in this room. And we're going to be able to put it to good use in our American Legion. So next up is Mike Smith that will continue with the officer, leadership, and responsibilities.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out today. We appreciate, as part of the Moving Forward Committee, we appreciate that you've cared to take the time out of your day, especially on a weekend, to come out and learn more about what we do in the organization, how it functions, and be able to take that back down to your counties and back down to your posts. Because again, it all starts department, county, post. Because we're all doing what? There you go, there you go. All right, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Smith. I am the post commander for Anthony Wayne Post 174 in Wayne, New Jersey. I am also, by the grace of my volunteerism and being drafted, the adjutant for Passaic County. Thank you, Mr. Imperato.
Aren't you a National Legion College graduate?
Yes, and I am the 14th graduate of National American Legion College, along with my classmate, Tom Dresner, from 2022. We actually have a 2023 graduate here, and that would be Sophia DeMock. Stand up, Sophia. She'll be giving us a few words a little later as the latest Legion College graduate. But what I want to do today is I want to talk to you, everybody, about your officer duties and responsibilities. As members of the organization and as leaders, we should have an understanding of not only what we do in our specific jobs, adjutant, post commander, whatever, but we should also have an understanding of the other roles in the organization, because you never know if you're going to be called upon to do it on an official basis, do it unofficially because there's an emergency and somebody needs to step in. So it's good that we all know each function of the organization so that we can participate and keep moving forward. All right, so who can be an officer? Any member in good standing with high moral character. Key factor, high moral. With the exception of Dave Snowdy, everybody in this room qualifies. Love you, brother. Seriously though. So who can be elected to a member, a position, sorry, in the organization? You got two ways to do it. Be at a meeting and the other not be at a meeting. So just remember that. You're elected by the membership in accordance with the Constitution and bylaws of your level, whether it's post level, county level, department level. You can be appointed with approval and in accordance again with the Constitution and bylaws. And that's the key. Your Constitution and bylaws define your ability to be an officer at the post level, at the county level, at the department level, and the national level. You should be formally installed. And what I mean by formally installed, you should have an installation ceremony where you go and you're sworn in as the post commander, the adjutant. Most post counties do that at specific meetings, county conventions, department convention for the department officers. It's really important because it not only gives you as the person who's installed a sense of pride and achievement that you're going to be, that your membership, your fellow veterans are entrusting you with this role, whichever role it is. But it also shows the membership that yes, we're entrusting you with that role. And it's up to you to be a leader, to be a mentor to people in the future so that we can move forward. Okay, next please. So, you have the recommended officers, the commander, the adjutant, vice commander or more than one, depending on your constitution and bylaws, finance officer, service officer, chaplain, sergeant at arms, historian, and judge advocate. You could have more, you could have less. It all depends on constitution and bylaws. So, the commander, person who heads the ship, to use the naval parlance. Requirements: integrity, leadership, initiative. Power is limited by your constitution and bylaws. It's all going to loop back to that, you'll see. Presides at meetings and controls the agenda. Supervises all officers, builds the team. Ensures the Legion programs, whichever programs you have, the Sons, the Riders, are moving forward. He enforces, or she, enforces the Constitution and bylaws and policies. Coordinates with the auxiliary leadership, the SAL leadership, the Rider leadership. Communicates with the community leaders. You go to your community meetings once a month. You go to events in the community. Spread the word about the Legion. Let the community leaders know who you are and know that they can come to you if they have specific issues, especially with veterans. Mentors and trains replacements. That's key. That's one of the key things. Mentor and train replacements. Because you cannot, as Tony had said earlier and Jack had alluded to earlier, you cannot be in the same position for the most part for more than 2 or 3 years because you get complacent, you get stagnant. You need to have fresh ideas. You need to have fresh leadership. You need to show your membership, especially at the post level, that, hey, it's not just the same group of guys doing it every year. If somebody wants a chance to be an adjutant or sergeant at arms or anything like that, you want them to come in because you want them to participate. That's one of the ways how you do that. Commander, you've got the not so good types. He's the only one who's willing to serve, so he's at all. Can't get anyone interested in helping. Why? Because he's doing everything. Perfect post commander, experienced leader, knows how to conduct meetings, uses an agenda, supervises officers and committee chairs, supervises the important thing. He's not telling them what to do, he's giving them a direction, letting them do it. He's supervising. Next. You have your vice commander, or vice commanders, depending on your constitution and bylaws. Requirements: positive attitude and initiative. Responsible for all aspects of membership and creation with the written membership plan. However, whose responsibility is membership? Everyone. There you go. We're all responsible for membership. If you have a membership chair, that's fine. But if you know someone, you're talking to somebody who's like, oh, I forgot to renew my membership. Encourage them to do it. Membership is all our responsibility, whether it's helping our current members renew or bumping into a Vietnam veteran in the shop, right? He's wearing his Vietnam veteran hat, and you go to him and you say, hey, thank you for your service. And you might be wearing your American shirt. He asks you, what's the American Legion? And you start talking, and you get him to join your post or a post near him. Again, everybody's responsibility. Vice commander should be knowledgeable of the commander's duties and to step in if the commander's unavailable. Mentors and trains replacements. Performs other duties as needed. Whatever comes up at your post, that's what he would do or she would do. The adjutant, where the commander is the captain of the boat, captain of the ship. The adjutant is the navigator. He's the one that makes sure the ship goes where the commander wants it to go. Requirements: honesty, willingness to do the job. To be an administrator, submitting remittals, paperwork to the county, to the department, to national in a timely fashion. The adjutant handles all correspondence. Anything that comes in, the adjutant logs it in, puts it aside if it's got to be brought up at a meeting, or gets it addressed if it's if it's got to go to the finance officer to pay a bill. Maintains records. The adjutant is the person who takes your meeting notes. He manages all that data so that in case 2 years from now we've got to go back and we've got to look at a meeting and to find out what happened. We can go back. It's his or her responsibility to do that. Publishes official announcements and instructions. Again, this goes back to the adjutant's the navigator. He's taking the post where it's supposed to go, and one of the ways he does that, or she does that, is to announce what's going on, pass along instructions, pass along event information, whatever the case may be. Again, mentors and trains replacements. The adjutant role, in some cases, especially at the post level, you could have some continuity there. A good adjutant is probably usually around 5 or 6 years before you really want to have someone new come in, because you want that continuity of information. You want to be able to go to an adjutant and say, hey, can you look up something 2 or 3 years ago, and he'll be able to do that. So when we talk about how long a person should be in a role, adjutant is kind of the rule, as it were. And again, you assist other officers, committees. The adjutant's job is like the first sergeant of the company, typically retained for several years. Provides continuity, and that's important. You want that continuity because the adjutant's position, taking meeting notes, providing correspondence, you're going to want that history. Provides direction to new officers and committees. Past records will give insight into the post's policies and traditions. Retain documents in a way that is useful to everyone. Written, digital, posted on a website, whatever the case may be. And again, this goes back to the adjutant's role of keeping the history. Adjutant's tools. Post adjutant's manual. Officer guide and manual of ceremonies. District and county commanders' guides. Important, Robert's Rules of Order. All our meetings based on Constitution and bylaws are usually specified that Robert's Rules of Order are the way to run your meetings. So it's important to at least have the cribs notes of Robert's Rules in case meetings get contentious. Note-taking tips. Make note not only of the concerns, but also of the many accomplishments discussed during the meeting. As post adjutant, because I was post adjutant before I became post commander, and as county adjutant, I always tell people, no, I don't write a book. I write the highlights, because people aren't going to care that that Joe Schmo talked 5 minutes about a certain topic. They want to know the topic was discussed, but they don't need to know they don't need to know all the gritty details. Make sure you get the highlights in. Make sure you get the important notes. Make sure you hit the highlights, but you have to make sure that you're doing it in such a way where the important items are noted in your notes. Make sure you have the correct name spellings, contact email addresses, and telephone numbers. That's important if you have to refer back to the meeting notes for any reason. Oops. Sorry. I'm like Tony, I kind of wander when I talk. So this way, if it's a member who's no longer a member of your post, he's transferred to another post, he moved to another state, and if you need him, you'll have that information at least to try and get a hold of him. Next, please. Finance officer, another very important role, especially in these days. Qualifications, integrity, experience, must be bondable. Your finance officer must be bondable because, you hate to talk about it, you hate to hear it, but it's a fact of life. You read stories all the time, finance officer, absconded with money. So that person has to be bondable so that if that does happen, you're able to file against the bond and recover whatever funds were misused. He or she chairs the Finance and Budget Committee. The committee that's going to direct how the money is spent. Receives and deposits all funds and maintains finance records. Whether you use an old-fashioned paper ledger, you use QuickBooks, whatever the case may be, make sure they're accurate. Make sure that it's done timely. Make sure the money's deposited timely. Because as money's coming in, money's coming out to pay the bills. All the posts to pay, so you need to make sure the money goes in. Larry Platt is very experienced in that matter as part of our department finance team, so he understands that. Adheres to budget as approved by the membership. Membership gives you your budget. You have your line items. As the SAL chairman, Tony Gladden is well versed in that. Helping the SAL with their budget. Same thing with the American Legion. We have our budgets, have to abide by them. So make sure that the finance officer understands that and follows the budget, because you just don't spend money willy-nilly. Provides a written monthly finance reports, completes IRS and other reports as required. Again, mentors and trains replacements, and then performs other duties as needed. Service officer. Service officer, qualifications, availability, and responsiveness. Ken Connors, Judith Morales. Stand up, please. Everyone, these two individuals are our department service officer and our assistant department service officer. They are integral to the American Legion's ability to help our veterans file VA claims, file appeals, and get what they deserve for their military service. They are trained and accredited, but also we have service officers at the county level and at the post level to assist Ken and Judith to do their jobs. Provide members with their rights and benefits that they have earned. Knowledgeable of working through Legion channels. Knowledgeable of agencies and resources available in the community. Again, mentors and trains replacements. The value of the service officer increases with their length of service. You get a service officer who's been within the post or the county for a number of years. They know the people who talk to. They know where to go to get the information they need to help service the members and get the veterans what they need. Chaplain. Chaplain, the requirement for chaplain, moral and intellectual leader that brings dignity to the office. Assists with patriotic observances, dedication ceremonies, funeral services, visiting the sick, nursing homes and hospitals, mentors and trains replacements. Performs other duties as needed. Chaplain's pretty important. Sick call. You got a member who's sick. Chaplain stops by, drops a phone call. Be the one. Remember, be the one. Buddy checks. Chaplain's very important to that. We're all important with that, but the chaplain's especially important with that. Mailing cards out, get well cards, stopping and seeing veterans at the hospital. Judge advocate. The judge advocate. We all know, we all hopefully never have to deal with a judge advocate, but when it comes up, it's good to have someone who has knowledge of Robert's rules, advisor for conducting meetings, maintains professional counsel when required, responsible for the orderly conduct of disciplinary procedures if they unfortunately have to come along. And in that role, it's good that they're very versed in the Constitution and bylaws for the level they're working. Mentors and trains replacements, I know, and performs other duties as needed. Again, mentorship and training is important on any level for any position. Then you have your Sergeant at Arms. Yes. All right, calm down, Marine, calm down. All right, so Sergeant at Arms, qualifications: familiar with Legion protocol, and obviously to be very enthusiastic about the position. Sets up for meetings, preserves order and etiquette during post meetings. We've all been at post meetings or county meetings where things get a little contentious. Sergeant at Arms' responsibility to calm everybody down and make sure the meeting runs smoothly. Custodian of the colors. What I mean by that is it's a Sergeant at Arms' responsibility to make sure that the colors are in place, make sure they're handy. Our County Sergeant at Arms, Mike Barr for Passaic County, is very good about that. He went out and bought a big flag cover. And he carries it around, and he carries a rifle. So you can always count on him to have the colors there for the post meeting, both the county colors and an American flag, and the stance. Again, mentors and trains replacements. Performs other duties as needed. Historian. Historian enjoys working with history and assembling scrapbooks to allow us to do what we've done and what we will do in the future by creating our history, documenting our history. Books, putting pictures online on Facebook, on a post website or a county website. Compiles records and event histories. Prepares the annual yearbook scrapbook. Attends functions and documents events with narratives and photographs. Ken's here. Ken's our department historian. Stand up. You'll see him with his camera walking around taking pictures, again documenting history of the organization. Mentors and trains replacements and performs other duties as needed. Okay, so you have sources of help. We all come to that one point where we're trying to solve a problem, we're trying to figure out something to do with the organization. We need help. You call. And don't say Ghostbusters, please. I know somebody was going to say it. I just wanted to stop that. We all have our mentors within the organization, people that we know who we can call to get answers to questions. Don't walk away, Mr. Imperato. I'm talking about you. Past commanders obviously are a very valuable resource because they've, in 9 times out of 10, you're going to run into a problem. They've probably already run into it. So they're going to know how to address the situation. Maybe not the same way that you're going to, because as a post commander, you're going to handle it by the Constitution and bylaws, but maybe not necessarily the same way he or she did. County commanders obligated to provide guidance and supervision. That's what they're there for, because they're that next step, so that if the post has a problem, who comes in next? The county. Department officers. Department officers are important. Use them wisely. Department headquarters is the conduit for routine business. If you have a problem with a membership, you're trying to figure out, well, Jane Doe renewed her membership. Where is it? John Doe, he's a paid up for life member, but he's showing up as a grace period for some reason. Department will be able to help you out with that. National headquarters, again, we talked about this earlier. We touched upon this. National is your last resort. Make sure that you've used all your other options up the chain of command before you reach out to national headquarters, because you don't want the calls from national coming back to the department saying, hey, Jane Doe called and she wants to know where her membership is, and then it all rolls downhill and the department calls the county calls the post, everybody's on it, and everybody's embarrassed. So remember, if you don't know it's okay. Because we don't all, except for Tony Gladden, we don't know everything. Tony Gladden knows everything.
Here comes the boss. He's taking the funk, y'all.
But if you don't know, it's okay. Because there's a large group of people who will be able to help you. Make sure that you take the time to get the help. Just don't make it up on the fly. Don't say, oh, well, you know, I don't want to bother. I don't want to bother the people. I don't want to bother anybody. Get help, because you want to make sure that what you're addressing is addressed correctly, and that's what we do as leaders. We provide that information. We provide that help to solve your problems, to help you run your posts and counties effectively. Reports. The Consolidated Post Report. Does everybody who has to file one know what that is? Does anybody who has to file one don't know what that is? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you anyway. Consolidated Post Report was established in 1975 to help departments document activities posts have done during a 12-month reporting period. Why is that important? Anybody?
It shows you exist. It shows you're doing something.
There you go. It's even more important for when we as an organization go to Washington Conference, because these Consolidated Post Reports from the Department of New Jersey, from the Department of Alabama, to the Department of California, to all the departments, we converge on Washington at the end of February, and we go talk to our elected leaders and say, hey, these are our priorities. These are things that the American Legion is looking for legislatively for the next year. And these Consolidated Post Reports, we could take these to Congress and say, hey, look, we got 1.7 million veterans out there. You need to listen, because we're important. We're important constituents. We're veterans, and we need your support. The paper copy can be sent to department and to national via mail, or you can file them electronically on mylegion.org as a post commander or post adjutant. This is a copy of the Consolidated Post Report. I know it's kind of crunched and you can't see it, but on the next one. So you have your different things that you do. You do a blood drive, put in your time. There's always things that you're doing. Make sure you document your time. You could document it, if you do it online, you could document it incrementally. Take one, fill out one for each month. And then at the end of the year, make your totals. This way you're not thinking at the end of the year, oh, well, what did I do? The Consolidated Post Report is best put together with the help of the finance officer, because the finance officer is going to know how much money you spent on donations, to the various charities that we support as the American Legion. So it's good to make sure that you have your finance officer definitely involved. But don't just ignore it. Fill it out. Even if you only have done a couple of things a year, make sure you fill it out. It's important to show that we're participating as posts within the organization. Post Squadron and County Officer Report. This is critical. We touched on it before. When Adjutant Baker sends out mailings to the various posts, to the various counties, if they don't know Tony Gladden is the Department Executive Committeeman for Ocean County, well, guess what? If Adjutant Baker's sending out a letter, sending out those packages of information, Tony's not going to get one. So what happens to Ocean County? Ocean County doesn't know what's going on because the DEC doesn't know what's going on. So it's important. County level, post level. Fill out those forms, get them in so that you can get the information that you need, because again, it's part of our responsibility as leaders to pass along that information to our counties and to our posts. It's critical for commanders and our adjutants to report all post, squadron, county officers to department headquarters immediately after the election. Forms are available online. If you can't find them online, contact the appropriate level, get it on paper, send it in. If this is not communicated, vital information doesn't get sent to you. So, what now?
My turn.
We go back to Tony.
Okay, so
Let's hear it for Mike. He did a good job there. We all moving
Forward!
how many of y'all got the officer guide? Okay, if you don't have a copy, if you go onto the national website, all of our documentation, all those books, you can download the digits. In the back of the officer guide, there's a part that talks about a post-evaluation. What I suggest is, especially if you've got a change of leadership, or if you've been there for a while, you go and you do that evaluation to see where your post is at. Okay? I didn't bring it up there because, you know, you guys got to do some homework, right? But go in there and take a look at the post-evaluation portion that's in the back of the officer's guide and follow it just to see the health and strength of your post. Okay, so we talked about all that stuff. Understanding responsibilities. Okay, listen, we talked about a lot of different things. All at various levels. We've all dealt with different types of styles of leadership. So what we're hoping is, like Jack said, at the end of the training session, I mean, this is a networking thing, right? So this is a chance for us to get together as leaders or potential leaders and talk about the highs and lows, ups and downs, and the differences and nuances of the responsibilities that we have from the post to the county to the department level. Next. Legion education. Okay. Go to the next slide. Okay. Everybody here, how many of y'all have done the National Basic Training course that's online? So what I suggest that if you haven't, you do. Okay, it's free, it's self-paced, and to be honest with you, anything that you want to do outside the Department of New Jersey, that's going to be a prerequisite. Okay, so if you think that you want to go to National Legion College, that's going to be a prerequisite. When you listen, I'm going to tell you something. Those cats up at National, they know more about you than you think. Okay, I got contacted for an interview, and I didn't really say anything about myself. And next thing you know, when the article came out, they were throwing stuff. I'm like, yo, what is this FBI stuff? So what I'm saying to you is they're going to know if you've done the training courses. And that goes not just for us Legionnaires. Auxiliary SAL, y'all can take the basic training. Okay, y'all can take the basic training course and you get a nice certificate suitable for framing. And that's what it says on there, a certificate suitable for framing. And then if you throw them about $2, you can get this nice pin to put on your cap. Was it $8 for it?
$8. I know you get 2 from.
There's modules that talk about Legion history, all right, veteran affairs and rehabilitation, national security, Americanism, children and youth. What is that?
The 4 pillars.
Maybe you are ready to go. Now you ain't ready. Okay. And then it ends up with a final exam. Again, remember, like I said to you, this is self-paced. Okay, so if it takes you 6 months to do it, it takes you 6 months. And again, it's free of charge. It doesn't cost you anything but your time. And you're going to walk away. One of the things that we do at 455 is when we get new members, after about 2 or 3 meetings, we say, hey, go take this basic training course because we're starting them out exactly with the 4 pillars and the foundation of the organization. So that way when they go to all these different types of meetings, we're talking about different committees, they kind of have an idea of what we're talking about because they've been exposed to it through the training. Next slide. Legion College, Sophia's going to talk, Legion College. This is New Jersey, the Leadership College. We already talked about it. You have your advanced post-management, okay, post-service officer course. I heard that's a pretty good course and it's intense. Okay, membership course, I heard that's a good course, but it's intense. And a chaplain's course, I heard that's a good course. So anyhow,
Membership.
I said membership. I said, pay attention there, guy. So listen, If you haven't done it in several years, I suggest you apply and go back and do it again. Okay? I've witnessed the Legion change a lot. A lot. In the last year and a half, I've witnessed the Legion change a lot. And even though you might be a graduate of basic or advanced, or you might have gone to membership about 4 or 5 years ago, the program's changed, and we suggest that you just keep going and gain that knowledge. Because again, you're gonna learn it, you're gonna pass it off to your members of the post, you're gonna find that bright-eyed bushy tail, and then they're gonna elevate up, and we continue, we perpetuate. Next. Okay, our national organization, as well as the Department of Jersey, has websites. Okay, so there's the Legion.org and NewJerseyAmericanLegion.org. Again, we do have a website. Our CEIO, Chief Information Officer, is here with us. He's Past Department Commander.
And let's hear it for Past Department Commander Steve here, our CIO. You wanted technology, you got technology.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. This is a God's honest truth. We have Teams accounts set up, all right? So it makes it easier for us to have meetings like in inclement weather or when some people are sick. You can still be part of what's going on. All right, I'm going to tell you, and Burley and Gene will back up on this. A lot of the things that they do on a national level where they used to converge and meet in places, they're actually starting to do a lot of that stuff online. It comes down to the accessibility to people, as well as it's all comes down to the dollars and cents. You know, we can have a Teams meeting and we can get 100 people showing up, where if we got to pay for it, we might only be able to get 25. How is that benefit the organization? Okay, a lot of people look at it as, when we talk about technology, listen, the Legion is the only organization on the face of the earth that uses every form of communication invented by man. Carrier pigeon, telegraph, fax machines, okay? Why? Because we have various levels of Legionnaires, of what they're willing to embrace in the technology. So what I say to you is this: if you've got a member that might be getting up there in age and can't drive at night, what do? Okay? So if you've got a member that has the technology but doesn't know how to use it, what should you do? So I'm going to tell you something. How many of y'all got grandkids? I'm not going to go to great-grandkids, they're home. What I'm saying to you is, go talk to your grandkids. If they can twerk on TikTok, they can show you how to write an email. Okay? They can show you how to use Twitter. They can show you how to use Instagram. Okay? Listen, I can write one email and send it to 500 people, as opposed to writing 500 letters. Or standing on top of a mountain with a blanket. Okay, so again, let's embrace technology. Let's go to the next one.
That was it.
That's it. All right, so stop. All right, so listen, we're done with this module. Next is going to be Danny. Let's take another 5. Oh, my duck.
I got to give him some paperwork.
Okay.
Are you done, Tony?
We're done. That's it.
All right, let's hear it for Tony. Now, I got to tell you something. That's all.
I just need to know
Watch the video.
where you are.
Sorry, Jack.
No,
Is it because I snored too loudly? I'll get some shit.
no, it's not any of that. I love all of you. I just can't get over it.
Can't get over what?
That.
You don't mean
Yes. Your cat.
you're breaking up with me because I'm a veteran?
No, you're so country is what makes me so proud to be your partner. It's just that you wear that cap everywhere.
Everywhere?
Everywhere. Our wedding, our couples watching Bora Bora, scuba diving. They had to buy you a whole other suit to fit your hat. It costed extra money. Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. They weren't even open.
We all make that mistake.
Chuck E. Cheese.
But sweetheart, that's not meant.
In the shower, mowing the lawn, doing the dishes. We just can't do this anymore.
This hat's way
I
too
can
big,
change.
too.
I need to wear a cap.
You have to promise me. You have to promise me that you won't wear that cap everywhere.
All right. I promise.
We know you love the Legion, but the cap is optional. Visit legion.org/join to get your cap today.
Maybe I can still wear it at Legion events?
I want you to.
I just need to know where we went wrong. Is it something I did?
No.
Alright, where does
Is it because I snowed
So check it out.
I'll get a seat.
No, it's not.
Be proud to wear your caps at all times. Anyway, we're going to take some action. Department Commander has asked this to be distributed. Is the American Legion National Headquarters. Notification of post, squadron, commanders, and adjutants. We're going to put this in the back of the room where the sign-in sheet is. If you haven't filled it out, take it. It's going to bring you down a path of nothing but productivity. Commander, do you have anything to say about this, how important it is, or?
I think the dude's prostate.
Exactly. And this will go to your post adjutant. It gets you on mylegion.org. Rich Godfrey, our outstanding membership chairman, covers all that. We encourage you to go to his workshop as well. So before we go on break, I want to cover something. That was the longest segment that we had. But I got to tell you something. That was the most important. And Tony and Mike really did a good job there because they put up every leadership position and explained to you what is required and what you have to do. And showed you where to go for this information. It's out there. It's on a national website. It's on a department website. You can find it. If you have any issues in finding it, ask a leader in the American Legion and we will gladly mentor you. Did you hear what kept coming up? Mentor and train your replacement. Did you hear that more than once? What did we do when we all served proudly in the United States military?
Hide.
Well, you were sergeant for 10 years?
You served on a sub. You hit all of them.
You mentored your replacement, so the minute that you had to move up, that replacement was coming in, taking your spot, and the unit's going to continue to move what? Forward. Now, here is what I'm going to give you some real positive information. Here's how you take care of that problem. You don't wind up a commander for 10 years. You do your 2 years, your 3 years. When you get in your 3rd year, tell them you're either retiring or you want to move up. Hey, I'm going to become a county commander now. So we need a commander for this post. Then you begin to mentor somebody. When you're the county commander or adjutant, and you want to move up and become a DEC, you let it be known. I loved being your county commander for X amount of years. But I'm moving up in the organization. We need someone to step in. See, your chain of command and your leaders will always change. But the mission never changes, does it? Just the people. So mentor and train your replacements, and you'll have good continuity. And really train it. Just say, hey, here's the book. You're going to learn the way I learned, by trial and error. That's not the right way to do it. Take them to meetings, take them to events. We're encouraging you to come to department meetings and county meetings. Come to events and see what we do. Come to conventions. Does everybody have a good convention? Yeah, national convention? Oh, yeah. So we work hard, we play hard. Get involved. Okay, with that being said, we have 2 more modules. You're going to come back and Doug Heron's going to go over how to properly run a meeting on the county and the post level. Take 10.